Guys, so um today I wanted to I don't know that people talk about these things, but I know that I look on YouTube for everything, just stuff people go through, for reviews, for anything. And so my uncle passed away day before yesterday, so June 29th. And I was not particularly close to him, just he's my dad's brother, but he was always there. I mean, he lived on the same block where I grew up, and he wasn't much of a talker. And it's hit me a little bit like very hard. Like I feel bad that he's gone. Um, just that when you're faced with the finality of life, at least of physical life, because I am Catholic, and I believe that people's soul, go on. But when faced with the finality, it simultaneously makes everything matter so much, and also makes everything seem so trivial at the same time. Um, but lately, what I've been like dealing with is I feel bad that he's gone, but I also feel like I feel even worse for my cousins whose dad he was, and for my dad, just to see my dad being so sad. Um, when I was 16, one time I had this dream, nightmare really, that my dad had passed away, and it like shook me for like 2 months, right? Like I couldn't shake it, because when you have a dream normally, or a nightmare, it's a little bit like fantastic in the sense of it's fantasy. You can tell that it's not true, not real. But when it's something that can actually happen in life, I don't know, like it haunted me really badly. And to know that now that that's their reality, and honestly I haven't spoken with them, I don't know how they're dealing with it. um but I'm very sad for them, just to know that a parent is gone. um and again, it's not that I would do things differently, in the sense of, I wouldn't like go hug him or anything. Like, we just didn't have that type of relationship, even though a lot of like my dad's family is like that. I wouldn't say that they're particularly affectionate, but they're very um into acts of service, and I'll give like my dad as an example. Like, my dad's not gonna be like hugging you and saying I love you and all that stuff, but he'll come and he'll do your laundry and he'll cook your favorite food for you. um and he'll do that kind of thing, and that's his way of showing love. And so I'm not gonna say this cliche stuff like, oh, go and tell your dear ones that you love them. If that's not natural to you, that's not what you would do. It's not that, but maybe do show your appreciation and be grateful. um and I know my sister said it's sad that people are only like getting together now for funerals. um I had been wanting, I still want to plan like a cousins reunion with my dad's side of the family, because it's huge. And I grew up a lot with my dad's family, just because they lived in on my same block, most of them. And they do things like Sundays we'd go to a park every Sunday during the summer, when I was here and I was in the DR. uh we get together even in the winter at like some of my aunt's houses and play bingo and stuff like that. So I was like very, even though there was no like intimacy, I would say, but I was very like close to them, because I was always around them. And like it was sad when I lost my grandparents. I was very, very, very fortunate and blessed that I met all four of my grandparents, and I had all four of my grandparents well into my 20s. Which, a lot of other kids when I was growing up, um, they only had one grandparent or two or three, but it was rare for one of my friends to have all four grandparents alive, and I had that for a very long time, and I'm grateful for that. And when they passed away, none of them passed away suddenly. Like they either had been like sick or deteriorating, and so like it was expected. And I was also in a different place in life. I feel like now I'm a parent, I'm older, I reflect more. And so it hit me a little bit hard, this thing about my uncle. overall, like, especially because, so he got COVID, and you know, he was intubated for like 3 or 4 months or something, and he overcame that. And then, you know, to have him overcome that, see, I thought he wasn't going to overcome that, and once he did, this other thing that happened, I know, like, he had a heart attack, but apparently he was revived. I don't really know too many of the details, but the point is, I thought for sure he was going to overcome this, right? Because compared to what he already went through, this was like less intense or less severe, at least in my head. Of course, I'm not a doctor. And so I just wanted to talk about that. You know, it's just like, it's weird because I feel like it's the first time that I'm dealing with grief in this way. Or I'm more conscious of it, where I feel so much for the people who are losing this person that he was very dear to. And again, I'm not saying that he wasn't like dear to me, like, you know, I do have affection for him. It's just, you know, it wasn't somebody that like was chums with, or but he was just always there, like literally, like just even like where I lived. You know, we come on here and we do things that seem silly, right? Like review bags and perfume and material things that ultimately don't really matter. And that's what I mean, like, all these things like seem so trivial, and at the same time they seem important, in the sense of, well, we're only here for a short time. Like, if these little things are what bring me joy or bring you joy, you know, let's enjoy them. It was my whole like video that I did about, like, you know, using your fine china, your good things, or like your good clothes, or, you know, your nice bags. Like, don't save it for one day, because none of us know when we're gonna go. But one thing that we can be certain of is that we are all gonna go at some point. And so I don't know, I've just been like reflecting on that, how like, you know, like, nothing matters and everything matters. And I feel a little bit guilty that I honestly like feel it's not just like for his loss, right? Because he's no longer with us, but like, I feel so bad at the thought of the pain that my cousins have, that my dad is going through, that I'm seeing him go through at the loss of this person, my uncle. And yeah, appreciate life, and those that around you, and love in your own way. You know, maybe you're not the person to say I love you or to hug people. I lost my train of thought earlier, but yeah, so I had been wanting to do, and I still want to do, like, a cousins reunion, and we've let that go by the wayside because I'm busy. Like, I work full time. I have 2 kids. I know that I take the time to do these little videos and stuff because, you know, they bring me joy. I'm like, I like to watch these type of videos. You know, I've been enjoying making them. And so, you know, it's hard. Like, there's a lot of us. There's over 100 of us cousins, and I had 2 cousins that wanted to help, and, you know, and then we just stopped talking about it. I had asked one of these like wedding planner, like vacation people, and I got some quotes and some rates, and then, you know, one of my cousins was like, well, you know, maybe some of our cousins like can't do that, like, for that price point. And you know, and a lot of them can, but there's some who can't. And anyway, and it's also like people's time and schedule, and travel. A lot of us would have to travel then from here, because ideally we had wanted to do it in the Dominican Republic. I do have some cousins that still live there, and some that actually are American and who want to live over there. So they did like reverse migration. But anyway, I hope that we can actually do that, you know, that we can actually come to do it, to actually do the cousins reunion. I think that would be great. And it is horrible what my sister said, that, you know, we come together for funerals and not for other things. And maybe we should do that more. And that's all I wanted to say. And I didn't mean to cry, because I've already been crying for the past 2 days, like randomly, right? Like in the shower, like I'll be walking. I'll look at my kids. and I'll start crying. But yeah, so I'm sorry that this isn't my, I try to post only like positive things and uplifting things, and I'm sorry that you know, that this isn't that. But you know, if anybody has been reflecting on this or is going through some grief of their own right now, I know that I like to not necessarily find company, but to know that you're not the only one. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening. And that's all, folks.